Hi, welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Retro Refix. And on the last video I showed you a few bits and pieces, channel update, stuff that was going on. I asked you guys if you would post a comment what you would like to see next. I'm still waiting to hear some comments to see what you do want to see next. But in the meantime, we went to Blackpool Expo. And what a time we had at Blackpool Expo. We had some great friends there. There was Si from Ginger Hippie Gaming, there were Hobby Lodge, Martin, there was Knots Gamer, there was Paul from Retrobait, there was loads, absolutely loads. I could go on for ages, but I put some pictures up there as we're chatting through, and I just thought I'd let you have a look at Expo. But if you've never been to Blackpool Expo, guys, you want to try that out next year. It's on for 2 days. If you want to stop overnight, great. If there's a few of you going down, fantastic. But if you're just yourself going down, 1 day is quite ample. It was absolutely awesome. There was absolutely loads of things there. There were loads of arcade machines, there was Gauntlet, there was Tron, what else were there? There were Bubble Bobble, there were Star Wars, there were Outrun cars, there were stalls there for buying things. All the computers were there as well, the Commodores, Spectrums, Amstrads, Vetrax, I could go on for ages. Everything and more things that you didn't see. One thing that I didn't see at Blackpool Expo, and I was quite surprised that wasn't there, were a Commodore SX, which I've got a couple of them, so I might get in touch with them next year and display one of my X's there at the Blackpool Expo. So, in the meantime, over the last couple of weeks I've been on Facebook and I run into this chat where the lady on there called Helen, and she said, I've got a VIC20, I don't know what to do with it. So I was chatting with her, she said it was a father's VIC20. It didn't work anymore, as far as she knew. She couldn't get a picture out of it. I think that's right. But she'd just like it to go to a good home. So she's donated that VIC20, and you'll see all the stuff that's coming up that's there. I mean, the box is just here at the moment. The Vic's set out over there, and you'll see the restoration video coming up. So if you're enjoying these videos that I'm doing, guys, please hit the subscribe, the like button, the notification bell, and drop me a comment. The subscribe, the notification, and the bell, and comments all help with the YouTube analytics to help it get shared out there, and it does help the channel tremendously. For those of you who are doing that already, thank you very much. For all of those of you that's been there from the beginning, and all of you that's subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. I will be opening Patreon for long, so if you're interested in that, check out the descriptions. The links should be in there in later videos, just not quite yet. So, at the moment, we're going to restore the VIC20. Well, is it a VIC20? Well, let's see. Let's get to it. The VIC20 that you can see here in front of you was donated by Helen. I believe that this used to be Helen's father's computer. We're not sure if it works anymore, but I was talking to her over Facebook, and she says, I'm not bothered about anything for it. I just want it to go to a good home. So she's ended up sending that to me. Let's see what she sent us. So what we got first. So we've got Introduction to Basic Part 1. There's a sold sticker on the top of there, and I think it's got a date there of the 2nd of March 84 when this was sold and bought from the shop. All the book seems to be okay. It's quite cool. Just a little bit dirty, it does want a little bit of a clean up, but we'll look into that at a later video. So that's Introduction to Basic. What have we got in the box? We have got a 16K RAM expansion. We have a couple of these SCART adapters. Tank Command, which needs the 8K RAM expansion. Grandmaster Chess. Well, it's quite a nice sticker on the tape for a change, if it being like a chessboard. That's quite nice. I'm not into chess myself, but I'll give that a little game. We've got Chariot Race for the unexpanded Vic. And we have got Pinball Wizard. And I would say that's for the unexpanded Vic as well. Does it say anything on the back? Nope, it doesn't. We've got the manual for the Vic. Helps you out with coding. I do like these manuals. I do like these little pop-up things here where it's saying 3 spaces, 3 left cursors, wait here again, cursor down, cursor up. I like all these little bubbles that pop out, birds flying towards the centre. It's just nicely illustrated on the original Vic. Because of course on the original Vics, back in the day, they are wanting us to program. That's what they wanted us to do back then. They wanted everybody programming games, because you don't get that these days, do you, on modern computers and consoles, etc. But this will teach you how to program, colour and graphics there. So yeah, that's nice to have the manual. Inside there we have a data cassette, a disk drive. Again, it's a little bit on the dirty side. It is a relatively old one, this one. I don't know whether you can see on the camera, I'll try and show you. But the tape counter is white. They used white tape counters in the beginning and then changed to black quite quickly. So I do know that that's quite an early tape deck. But we'll have a look at that one and get into that a bit later on. And of course, we've got one of the original joysticks. I don't know how good this is, we'll have to test it again. None of this have been tested at all. But it is an original Commodore joystick. So let's move these out of the way. And let's take a look at the Vic. I'm going to try and slide this out gently because the box is a little bit torn. There is places where it's dropping off and I don't want to bust that. As you can see on that side there, look, there's a bit of a flap on the board. I might put some tape on there and try and hold it back in and glue it back in. We'll try and keep that good if we can. Again, it's a little bit grubby, but we will try and clean that up a little bit later. So, let's lift the lid off, and what have we got? And there we go, we've got the Vic20. So we've got the power supply. We've got I won't take it out of there because it's a pain in the ass to get back in. It's got the RF box, so you can convert to RF signal. And because the Vics didn't come with an RF unit built into them, it's either a serial connector on the back or you plug that into the serial connector and use RF into the systems, because we all had RF back in the day. Not many of us had SCART and things like that then. So yeah, let's just lift this out and let's have a look. Here we are with the Vic20. It is quite dirty, you can see marks down here. All in the channels up here are all dirty. I'll try and get some closer shots of that and show you. Pop a little video or a clips up, let you see that. But it is quite dirty all around it. It does look in quite good condition. And those of you there that's got the sharp eyes will notice that this doesn't say Vic20 at the top there. Hello Sid. We've got VC20. And there's a little backstory of that. These were sold in Germany, and I do believe that the pronunciation of Vic sounds like Fick, apparently. I think that's a swear word in Germany, so they decided to drop the I out and call it a VC20. So this unit originally was in Germany. Let's have a look at the back. So as you can see there, even on the back it says Vic20, made in England. But like I said, the VC20s
was German. So let's see if we can get you some better shots of what this condition is of this unit. So it might be a little bit wobbly, but I've brought you down to level look, and you can see in that gap look, it's dirty all the way down. There's a big lump there by the cursor keys. You can see that it's very grubby. It's been stood in storage by the looks of things for quite a long time. As you can see it there, look, in that channels. It's all a bit grubby all the way along there. So I think best bet what we're going to do first is I think I'm going to strip it out and put it in the bath and give it a good clean. The keys don't look too bad on camera, but when as I'm looking at them here, they do look a little bit yellowy and fadey. I have got a full set of keys which I will swap over. They're a lot brighter, a lot cleaner, and they look very white, to be honest, on the letterings. So that's what I think we'll do. So that's the VC20. Let's give her a clean up. Let's get her in the bath. So here we are up in the bathroom. I'm going to give this thing a good soaking. Difficult for me to get you on camera now, but you can see how dirty it was. So just drop that in. It is a bit dirty on here. You can see all the grub and grime around this area. So we're going to try and get that off now. It might be a little bit yellowed, but I think a lot of it's going to come off with a good wash. So we may not have to retro bright, but we may do as well. So I'm just going to give this a good scrub up now. A bit of a time lapse while I give it a clean. So as you can see, it's nice and white down here, and it's a little bit yellow across this top line. So I think it is going to need some retro bright when the weather turns a little bit better. We all know what the weather's like here in the UK. So yeah, so that's going to get retro brighted when the weather's better. So that looks pretty good. As I said, it is a little bit yellow. I can still see a tinge of yellow on it. So we will be retro brighting that when the weather's better for sure. but it has cleaned up a long way. So what I'm going to do is just drain this bath off now, give it a bit of a rinse off. We'll let these dry off, and while that's drying off we'll check the motherboard and let's see if it works. And if there's any repairs to be done on the motherboard, we'll crack on and get them done while these covers are drying. So here we are with the motherboard. I've plugged it in, plugged the aerial in, we'll plug the power in. I'll just move that out of the way. It's just the LED light for the top cover while that's drying out. It is a little bit dirty, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean with some IPA and clean that board up and make it looking nice. But first off, let's see if it works. So I'm just going to pan you up to the TV screen so we can take a look and see whether it boots. So I'll put this LED light in, push that on there, just so we know it's lit up, so we know powers are going through the board and it's on. So I'll switch that on and I'll pan you up. No, looks like we don't have a video signal, so turn it back off. We've got no signal. Switch it back on. The no signal disappears, but it leaves us with a black screen. So that's a bit of a shame that we're on a black screen. As you can see on this board, most of the chips are not socketed. We've got, I think that's character, basic and kernel. Not quite sure. It's a VIC20. I don't deal too much with VIC20s that we can be swapping around. So I think what I'm going to do first is, because I know that the kernel interferes with everything, so I know this one, if this one doesn't work, the thing's just dead anyway. So I think I'm going to start by swapping this chip out, and then we'll have a look and see whether that works. So I'm going to just do that now. So we've swapped that chip out, and that is a, you can see it, I can't see it with my eyes, it's upside down, help if it were the right way around, wouldn't it? So we've got a 90148607. I believe that's the kernel ROM. So we'll swap that one out. Let's pan up. Let's flick that switch again and see if it works. Hey, yay! So straight away, that's good. That's good. That saves me a lot of diagnostic work and a lot of troubleshooting. But these MOS chips, they're not very clever. The way they was produced and the manufacturing process back in the day actually makes them degrade over a period of time anyway. So even a brand new one in a box, if you found a brand new one in a box now, the likeliness of that chip working, it'll be a 50-50 whether it does or it doesn't. So yeah, so that's fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to switch it off. I'm going to pour a load of IPA all over it and give it a good clean round. I'll just give it a little bit more of a clean out. I've just poured IPA, that's all it is. Isopropanol alcohol, 99% is what I use, and it all just makes it nice and clean. Yeah, okay, it's a paintbrush, but so what? Give it a good clean off. I've stood all these capacitors up. I hate them laid down. Sometimes you have to lay them down to trap a wire, like that one. These come down here. Supposed to be trapped under wires, under caps, to keep that wire from wobbling around. I think that's why that was bent over there, just stops them from moving. But most of these are just all laid down, and I don't understand why. I don't get why they're laid down. Strange, unless they just drop over a period of time with vibration and things like that, but every time you open a Commodore, these are all laid down. Some of them are twisted around and all, and the legs are nearly touching each other. It's very strange. But that's all done and dusted now, so let's get this board dried off let's go back to his case. Let's see if his case is dried out, and let's get it built back together. So there we go, that's the bottom case back in. If I lift it up a little bit there, you can still see it looks not too bad on camera, but it is a little bit yellow. Sorry. If you look at the colour here, to the colour here, you can see the difference. But that is a lot better than what it was originally. We've given the board a good clean. That's looking really nice and clean now. There wasn't an RF shield over the top of them. Some did, some didn't. I think the ones that had like the ceramic Vics in there, they did, and the ones that were epoxy resin, if you like, didn't have them. So that's that. It does look a lot better. So this is the different keycaps that have changed, and as you can see, they look very clean. And if you look at the top there now, it's looking stunning. It's absolutely mint. There's a tiny little mark up there, and it's a bit of fluff. And it's really clean. You can even see it glistening between the keys. So in comparison to what it was before, that looks really clean. So let's get this top back on, which is really easy. You just sit it on the back there. Make sure that you get the plug the right way around for the keyboard buttons, and we reattach the LED light, and we should just be able to fetch that lid down now, and it should just close nicely. Pop. I'll put the screws in afterwards. The 3 screws at the bottom to hold it together. But don't you agree, guys? Don't you agree? That looks absolutely beautiful. It's something to be proud of, and I'm sure Helen's dad would have been proud to see it again now. It is back to its former glory. So what I'm going to do is put the screws in, and then I'm going to take it into my games room, where it's going to get pride of place, and we'll test it for playing games and see what we can get out of it, and see if she's all back up and running fully. So we moved over into pride of place now, and we're all set up. The Vic's looking lovely, sat over there, absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy that I've got a VC20. It's my first VC20 that I have in my collection. I do have a couple of Vic20s, one with the pet style keys. I'll pop a picture up, and a couple of others, you know, the 2 ping pong ones, but they're away in storage at the moment. So this one's looking fantastic. You know, I was saying it might have needed retro brighting, but I really don't think it does. So let's fire her up. I've put the penultimate cartridge in there, so it just does save us a lot of loading times. So as you can see, we've cracked straight up there. I'm just going to go for one of my favourites, which was pole position. In fact, shall we do pole position or shall we do dig dug? Dig dug. Now if you've got a Vic20, you know that when you're using like cartridges and stuff like that, you have to centre the screen. So we'll just set the screen up and press F1 and F1 to start. So this is the joystick that came with it, so I'm just testing this to see if it works, and unfortunately she's not working unless it's keys. Nope, it's not keys. So I'm just going to go get my other joystick. That's a shame, you can't stand under them. What? You can't stand under them? Really?
Joystick's a bit sticky, I need to clean it. Ooh, that was close. He's going to try and escape. Can we get him? Can we get him? No. No! Little sneak thief. So as you can see, the VIC20 is absolutely lovely. It's nice and clean. We've got her up and running. Helen, I hope you've enjoyed the video. So that'll do for now, and I'll have a little bit of a chat to you at the end about some up and coming stuff. So stay tuned. So as you can see there, we'll give it a good bath, we'll give it a good clean out. I did say when we were bathing it, it was still yellowed, and probably could do with a retro bright. But now I've got it out and dried off and everything, it looks really clean and it doesn't really need retro brighting anymore. As you can see from the video that I'm linking up there for you, just to pan over. So yeah, the Vic's up and running. We've run an ultimate cartridge in it. That were absolutely fantastic. I have used the tape deck that came with it and loaded a game previously, and that all did work, so that tape deck's gone into storage at the moment. It did have all the original labels on it. When Helen's father bought it, I think it was the 2nd of March 84, and that was purchased. What I did find quite strange is that when we got into it, it was a VC20, and as I said previously in the video, a VC20 was a German build. They changed the name to VC because Vic sounded like thick, and I believe that that's a swear word. I could stand corrected, but that's one of the reasons why it wasn't called a VIC20, it was called a VC20. And they didn't change the boxes. I've never seen a VC20 box. If there is, and you've got some of them pictures of VC20 boxes, please drop me a message. I'd love to see some of them pictures. So yeah, it's all parcelled up. Even on the back of the Vic, it even said VIC20 on the serial label as well. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've subscribed, I hope you've left me a comment, and I hope you've hit that notification bell for the next coming videos. So that's it for today. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye!